Good morning, people, and welcome to the day 7 of the travel. And this is third day in Istanbul. Right now, we are heading towards the Hagia Sophia, and it's a mosque. And let's explore what is in it. So we are walking from our hotel to the Hagia Sophia place. So basically, when we want to visit the Hagia Sophia, we have to wait in a queue because there are particular timings to visit the Hagia Sophia because the mosque timings, the prayer timings are different. But if you are a Muslim and if you want to pray, you are allowed anytime. But since we are not, we have to wait in a queue, and there are particular times that we have to enter. So that's the reason we have to wait. And luckily, we came earlier, so we are in the front line of the queue. But there are lots of people who are waiting behind us. After we enter, there will be a small security check that we have to cross, and then we enter the Hagia Sophia. As usual, we have to remove our shoes to enter. So let me tell you about a brief history about this Hagia Sophia. Basically, Hagia Sophia was built by the Romans. The initial idea of the Romans was to build a cathedral for this whole area in Istanbul. So they started to build this, and after many years, they were about to get invaded by some emperor. So when it started, then this was converted into a religious place. I mean, where anyone can go into this. I may be a Muslim or Christian or Hindu, anyone can go into this and worship their own god. But then in the last invasion, maybe by the Sultan Muhammad, so he converted this religious place into a mosque. So now it is being converted. It is a mosque, and most of the Muslims around the world come here just to pray, and it is their own thing. India.
Which state?
Which state? Which state? Andhra. Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Banjara Hill, 2014. 1 month in LB Prasad Eye Hospital.
Okay.
I was in a training in that hospital. So I know Hyderabad.
Where are you from?
Mashallah.
Where are you from, sir?
From Bangladesh. Mashallah.
Sometimes the world feels very small because, as you can see, there we found a guy who have seen Hyderabad and Andhra, and he's from Bangladesh, and we met in Istanbul. This makes me feel like the world is very small. So we are done with the Hagia Sophia, and we are heading out of the Hagia Sophia.
పైకి కూడా వెళ్ళొచ్చా
మళ్ళీ చెప్పు
పైకి కూడా వెళ్ళొచ్చా
చెప్పు చెప్పవయ్యా.
వైరల్ అయిపోతాయి తప్పు చెప్తే
అలా ముగిలి. We are out from the Hagia Sophia, and right now we are going to the Blue Mosque. But the Blue Mosque had different timings to enter, so they said no. So we are going towards the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. So Topkapi Palace is the oldest palace of this particular king. You should have a guide to enter the Topkapi Palace. So since we have a Istanbul pass, we can go to the Topkapi Palace without any problem. But they have a particular timings even for the guide to enter. So we have to meet at a particular point. If you have the pass, you have to be on time, and then you can visit the Topkapi Palace with a guide, because you don't even understand what we are looking at inside the palace. We must have a guide. So that's the reason we waited for a while, but unfortunately we couldn't get our guide. So we missed it. So now we are going back to the Blue Mosque. So now we are going back to the Blue Mosque because the enter time has begun. So talking about the Blue Mosque is also called as the Sultan Ahmed Mosque. So it was built under the Sultan Ahmed, and it represents the Ottoman wealth and Ottoman Empire. So this was built because they have too much of money or because they have the invasions money and everything. So they were just showing their wealth. As you can see, the name of the Blue Mosque came from the blue tiles that they have used for the building of this architecture. And this was a really good place. As I've seen, the architecture is really good. As usual, we have to remove our shoes to enter, and then as we enter, the most of the architecture resembles the Roman cultures and everything, just like the other cathedral, which is the Hagia Sophia, and it also resembles the same architecture. So And one more thing is that the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia were just beside of both of them are side by side. So maybe they have used some of the aspects from the Hagia Sophia and then built this. So we are done with the Blue Mosque and now we are heading towards a place to find a lunch. So we went to the nearest McDonald's and had a quick lunch, and then we started towards the other places because we don't have much time and we have to catch our bus at 9 or 10 o'clock. So, and the bus stop was very far from the place we live, so we had to take a metro and do a lot of stuff. So we had our lunch quickly and then came to the archaeological museum of Istanbul. So the museum has four different sections, which is one to the left and one to the right, and two floors. So each floor has two sections and two floors with two sections, which is four. So basically, each section is divided into different kinds of archaeological structures, such as statues or coins, and even they have the mummies. So it was a quite good experience. So initially, as you can see, this is the Alexander Great. This was a visual experience of how the Alexander the Great fought in the war, and these were the famous statues that were found during the excavating by the archaeologists. And there was a small description or depicting how they usually do this archaeological processes, and how this was all conducted and how the cleaning process and everything is done. And this was even showed in a video in the museum itself. I couldn't post all the video because of the copyright claims. So as we walk by through the museum, we have come to the other section of the museum, and here we can see different kinds of ancient pottery and other stuff. So these were all found by the archaeologists during the excavation of this land, and they have even found gold and ornaments used by the ancient people. Coming to the other section of the museum, here we have seen multiple coins that were collected during the excavation. So here we can see that the people who were using the coins that were used for trading, and they were even gold. There some are silver and some are with copper. So they use these metals to use this as a coins for trading. This was a good experience to see all different kinds of coins that we've seen in the history books. And now we have come to the other section where they have mummies, and this is how the people used to store their bodies and thinking that they would come alive again. But we know how stupid the ancient Egyptians are.
We have seen the archaeological museum and it's good. There are lots of ancient scriptures and statues from the Romans, even the Istanbul previous Islamic sculptures and everything even from Christianity. It's good, and now we are going to the Hagia Sophia's museum.
Hagia Sophia Museum is just in front of the Blue Mosque, so we were allowed only at 6 p.m. So we waited till then. So as we entered, we have showed our ticket and we entered. So they gave this audio player, and as we move through the sections, it would automatically recognize where we are, and it is going to play it in our ears. So it's about a visual experience mostly in this Hagia Sophia Museum, because it's not like a normal museum where we have seen sculptures or the ancient rocks or something, but this is a visual experience. We have never seen something like this. So let's go and see what happens here. So you might not understand what's happening, but we are hearing the whole story in through the audio player they gave. So it was basically saying about the war that the Hagia Sophia wars and all the change of the governments that Hagia Sophia have seen. So it was a really good experience, and the audio quality and even the image quality is really good. As you can see, even the video is really good. So you can expect how the Hagia Sophia's visuals really are. There were different parts in this museum, and on the third floor we start and then we go down slowly. So as the movie is done in the one floor, then we move. And as you can see on the visual, as I told you, it was first a cathedral and then it was changed to a mosque by the invasions. So this is how it was all changed. And we are done with the museum and we are heading out now. There was a lot of stuff in the museum, but I mean the visuals, but I couldn't show it all them because they did not allow me to take a video because it doesn't make sense if I post it on online.
Almost right in front of the Hagia Sophia, we have the Hagia Sophia History Museum. It was a really good experience. There were not much monuments or something, but there is a visual experience of all the history of the museum, so it was a must and watch visit. So I think this would be our last visit to any of the monuments in Istanbul, because this is the last day in Istanbul for us, and tomorrow we are going back to Naples, and that's all with Istanbul.
After visiting the museum, we have came back to our hotel and packed our bags and checked out from the hotel. And we went to the nearest metro to get to the bus station. So bus station is really far from the place that we are living. So we went there fast. Since we are traveling budget, we have found a good bus from Flixbus, which is traveling from Istanbul to Sofia. So Sofia is not in the part of Istanbul, which is in Bulgaria, and it's the capital. So we are kind of crossing borders from Turkey into the Europe region. So let's see how it goes.
We are leaving Istanbul as of now, so goodbye to Istanbul. Hope we catch up again. We are having a final Istanbul kebab.
So this was the Republic of Bulgaria, where we have to show our identity to cross the borders. It's like a road immigration. So if our documents are not valid, we'll be thrown away. After 3 or 4 hours after the immigration, we have seen the snow.
We have reached Sofia. So in Sofia, there's not much time to explore anything. As you can see, it was snowing and it is very hard climate. So we just came to the cathedral.
We feel like we want to see the snow every time, but this is the chance that we have. But we are not at all prepared. Our jackets doesn't even bear the cold, and our shoes are not suitable for this climate, and it is really slippery while we are walking. And it was really harsh climate. Our hands are freezing. We don't have gloves. We have it, but they were inside because we didn't have the opportunity or requirement to use it in the Istanbul. The cathedral was open, and we went into the cathedral. It was really good. Even they are doing a prayer right now, as we have seen. I mean, not the other people, but the bishop is trying to make some arrangements for his prayer. So it was a good experience when we have seen the cathedral. It was really amazing.
After watching the cathedral, we are just going back to the airport because we have a flight from Sofia to Naples in the afternoon.
So we have taken a local metro till the airport, and it was really good. We have traveled like 14 stops, and then we have reached the airport. As we are not well prepared for the climate of this Sofia, so we just went to the cathedral, and when we came back to the airport and waited for like 4 hours, and then we boarded the flight. So with this, the trip is almost completed. So we traveled for 8 days from Milan to Turkey, and then in Turkey we have seen Cappadocia and Istanbul. I will definitely make a highlight video of all the amazing attractions that I've seen in Cappadocia, Istanbul, Milan, and even in Sofia. So if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down if I have to go to some other places. I would love to see your comments and go to the places that you have suggested. And if you see, the Mount Vesuvius is here, so we reach Naples, and yeah, that's all. Ciao, peace, Jai Hind.